Hello! You are watching Chapter 33 of my TearRing Saga Champions of Utena low turn count playthrough. According to the plot, Holmes is entering the catacombs under the Great Mountain via the Fire Shrine, which is currently occupied by the Cult of Gurxel. And we are once again dealing with them by pulling out the good old warp staff. So, the objective of this map is essentially to seize a point, and to do that we need to warp Holmes and Boss Killer over to the upper left part of the map. But this is slightly complicated by the fact that the boss is actually holding an Azov, so he needs to be killed twice. Because of that, we are unable to one-turn this map with the setup that I have, and so we're going to have to settle for a two-turn here. In order to one-turn this map, we would have to get 3 units over to the boss in a single turn, and there are 2 ways we could do that. One of those is having a Sierra who was powerful enough to one-round KO the boss. She can warp herself over under her own power. Or alternatively, we could have Lyria rig a second refresh onto Renee, so that she could warp 3 people in a single turn. With this setup though, we can just have Yoda kill the boss twice with Lukud criticals, which he does extremely reliably. The rest of my units are not going to be doing all that much here. Tom is going to be taking 1 kill on a Harpy, just for a tiny bit more experience, but he's pretty much at the point that he's going to be when his big moment comes. And I'm also making sure to have Plum dance each turn, even though she's never going to reach the dance count threshold, just to show that I'm trying my best to get her there regardless. Essentially, these actions are more or less just me being a little bit quirky here. We have to sit through an enemy phase here, and there are some slightly worrying enemies on this map, but because we haven't moved anywhere, none of them are going to reach us, and the enemy density is pretty low overall. Yoda is facing the boss on enemy phase, but he is unable to kill him reliably here because the boss is using the Tumahan Tome, which has the same magical freezing effect as Sylphid, and it has 90 listed hit, so it's very unlikely for Yoda to dodge that. That's obviously fine because we have the second player phase for Yoda to finish the boss off, but in order to do that safely, we do need to physic him to prevent him from being killed by the boss's counter-attack. If Yoda was to fail to get a critical hit, which is pretty unlikely, but I have seen it happen during my testing, he would then be magically frozen and unable to follow up, and thus the boss would survive. In that case, as long as Yoda survives, we have the option to have Renee warp over a second unit to help get the kill. But we can't do that if Yoda is dead. That would be a reset. So this is why we go to these lengths of having Rebecca use a physic charge to top Yoda off. So Yoda is now going to face the boss for the second time, and once again he is going to get that critical hit to one-hit KO the boss. That frees up the seize point for Holmes to walk on over to it and complete the map in 2 turns. And in the process of that, he pulls out the first of the holy swords in this game, the Agneyastra. And I'm going to talk more about what the holy swords do once Runan gets his in a later map. Following the map, we have this quick cutscene of Holmes walking down a corridor, having the true history of the continent explained to him. And with that done, we are going to be moving back to controlling Runan's army for the next sequence of maps. Those next few maps contain some of the most difficult and the most interesting maps in the entire run, so I hope you're looking forward to the ride. That's all for this video, and I will see you next time.